Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and EmeraldPlanet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us. As we're looking around the globe, one of the things that's becoming quite obvious is that more and more people are moving to organics as far as their food is concerned. They don't want the heavy chemicals, the chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides. They want as pure food as possible. So J.M. Fall, she is the president of the Organic Living, and it's all about the organics. Jay, tell us about your logo and what does it mean?
Well, that means that we're holding the earth in our hands and we're trying to save it. And there's a tree growing out of the top, which is a moringa tree, which is the tree for life.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, we're going all the way back to 1936. And my understanding from your research, things really haven't improved that much from this quote that we have in front of us. But as far as the diet deficiencies and remediation as far as depleting soils, why is that really a problem as far as the food that we're eating in the 21st century?
Well, because minerals are elements essential for life, and it's what gives food its flavor. So if we don't have minerals in our body, and we need 90 minerals in our body to be healthy, then we're not as healthy as we should be, and we can get sick easier.
Now, the whole thing about the land, of course, the United States, everybody keeps saying we're a young country, but we're over 400 years old, going all the way back to the founding of Jamestown. And of course, there were, millions of people on the continent before the Europeans came out of England and other places. But a lot of that soil has been depleted of its vitamins and its minerals. So why is that directly related to the deficiency of the vitamins and minerals in the food that we currently are eating?
Well, because lacking vitamins, the body can make use of minerals, but lacking minerals, vitamins are useless.
So we need both. And I think that's what we're saying right here is that lacking the vitamins, but we really need to have the minerals. And so looking at the soil, why is it very important that we start taking care of the soil?
Well, because the soil doesn't have the nutrients. We need to create healthy soil, and the soil needs to have life in it with microorganisms and funguses and bacteria and things in order to be healthy for the plants.
Mm-hmm. Now, the whole thing about it is that we don't really realize as we're walking over the ground or in our office building or out on the farm or the ranch, there's billions of these microorganisms actually in the soil itself. So looking at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, as far as having proper food, we're really running into the increased costs as far as health is concerned, because we're really not eating that healthy food. Is that what we're talking about, Jay?
That's it. And it has to do with the foods that we are eating. If it's processed, we know it's full of toxins and it's lacking the minerals.
You know, it's actually more of chemicals than it is the nutrients that we really need. Now, what is this as far as the Dirty Dozen list? This is something you and I have been talking about for years. And the Environmental Working Group has been highlighting this now for just about a decade. Why do we have this list called the Dirty Dozen?
Because those are the foods that have the most herbicides and pesticides in them. And there's usually 36 to 67 different ones in them. And so if we're putting all those toxins into our body, that's not making us healthy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is something we really need to be aware of. And I know that every year this list is being adjusted. So this is really just a sample listing compilation over the about the last decade. But then you have the Clean 15. I like the rhyme of that. Why do we have a Clean 15, but we have a Dirty Dozen? I mean, these foods are probably getting similar kinds of chemicals as well as a Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, but they don't have as many. And some of them, like corn and papayas and a couple others, are actually genetically modified. So we want to be careful of what we eat. But this list has less toxins in it. So if you can't afford organic, it's better to eat this list.
Okay, so this is really what this list is all about, is that we want to look at the Clean 15, and then, but at the same time, look at having organics within the refrigerator and within our kitchens. Is that what you're saying, Jay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is a different listing, and I just wanted to show this again because this comes out on an annualized basis. It does change from year to year. Some organizations say that, this really doesn't exist. Others are animate that, we need to be more concerned about the chemicals going in our body so that we actually do stay healthy. But the autoimmune and neurological diseases, this seems to be something that's quite real then, that's actually impacting our health. Is that what you're finding, Jay?
Yes, very much so.
And looking at these are Crohn's disease and diabetes and all that. So thyroids, these are really very dangerous to all human beings and actually can shorten the life. But I like this one that you shared this with us. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to garden, and the whole neighborhood gets tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's really cute. What does that really mean about, because we're getting into about teaching people how to garden. What is it about this that really is the truth?
Well, we used to live on farms and we grew all our own food and it was all organic, but it's different now. People have moved into the cities and they're so far away from the farm, they don't know how to garden, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to actually be healthy anymore.
And that goes back to the processed foods that you were talking about a little earlier, and that's something we have to do. But the thing about the work that you're doing, and this is what really has captured my attention, is that you're really teaching people how to grow their own food, not just about what foods to buy, whether it's on the Dirty Dozen or the Clean 15, but actually how to start growing your own food. What do you go over in these seminars that we are witnessing right now?
Well, the main thing is that it's this, the way we prepare the soil is the most important thing that there is, because, well, specifically here in Florida, we live on a sand dune. Sand doesn't hold moisture or nutrients, so we have to really create soil. But even in other states, we still need to make sure that the nutrients to have healthy plants is in the soil.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, looking at this is the now and also the future generations. Why is it so important that you start working with the youth, literally in kindergarten and elementary school? I mean, what can they learn that's going to help not only them, but also the elders that are in their households when they go from school back home?
Well, it's real interesting with this because a lot of these kids don't know how to, really make good meals and eat healthy. And I had one couple who they came to me and their little girl was like, oh my gosh, we have to grow this, we have to grow this, we have to grow this. And that was very exciting because then the parents went like, oh, wow, we really should do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they can influence their parents.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing about 4-H. I've brought that up a number of times in the past. Head, heart, hands, and health. And it's about the whole person. And so that's what you're actually teaching these children is that, we have to take care of the whole person. And that starts with our tummy. But looking at the beauty of nature and bringing the balance between the various plants, how do you do that where you start to calm the spirit as we see with your fountain here? But why this mixture of plants?
Well, this has plants that clean the air, the ones on the left, and this has water, and that helps birds and butterflies and other things. And this has got some herbs in there and some flowers. And you need flowers in your gardens to pollinate so that you get fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, this is something that you've been very emphatic with me is that having these flowers really are very important because it brings in the pollinators.
Yes.
But the fact that you can do this in such a beautiful way, how does this impact the people that visit your home for these seminars that they in turn feel like, actually, this is something I probably can do?
Yes, exactly. They come in and they see the gardens and they sit down and they relax, and it's very calming. And when I teach them how to prepare the soil, they go, well, this isn't that hard. I can do this. And they can start eating good, healthy food again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and why is it so important that people actually, even in the city, people keep saying we don't have enough space, but you could have something like this that it's in a flower box. So why is it important that we have the color? We have, in essence, kind of this little miniature carbon sump, if you will, around us at all times.
Well, the colors actually do affect our bodies. Like the blue is calming, the yellow is more energizing, and then the greens are very, very soothing as well.
Mhm. And I find this really interesting is how you have all these different colors and they all really have true meaning. And it's the same with food. The food we eat, the color of that food really makes a difference as far as our life is concerned. So, looking at these small plants, we would think this is insignificant. It's a huge world out here. And we're going to go out on this question, Jay. Why do we need to surround ourselves with living plants, colors that are vibrant, calming at the same time, but also help us to live a better life? How does that happen?
Well, when you grow your own food and you prepare the soil the way I recommend you to do it, then you're getting superfoods that you're eating. And the purple means it's extra special good for your heart and your blood pressure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this color?
Energy.
Oh, okay. All right. And this is some of the neighbors that come over to be with you. This is J.M. Fall. She's the president and master gardener of Organic Living. And we're talking about eating your way to a healthy future. And this is something that's very important that we actually do food as medicine, which comes to us from the ancients as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
Yes.